What is going on, collectors? Optical 20 back for another video. We're gonna take a look at John Wick. There's two versions of this. This is the artisan version, and then there's the regular version, which is sculpted. I totally just missed out on this. I was doing Anakin and the Predator, the Broken Tusk, and then this came out later, and I just got sick and put it aside. But I gotta make one because this is John Wick, one of my favorite characters right now. So this is John Wick from the first movie. Now if you've been following my channel, my John Wick 2 is heavily modified to a certain degree that it kind of looks like this. Black suit, black shirt, outside of the turtleneck, and then I have two head sculpts for my John Wick. One looks like this, which is the slick back hair. That is from the defunct Max Nut Studios. So I have two John Wick head sculpts for my John Wick 2. So this, theoretically, I might not even need, because I'm pretty happy with what I do have. However, it's John Wick. Like I said, I can't have too many. So if I ever buy this one, I would probably display him not with the black suit and black shirt on, probably with the black turtleneck, because like I said, John Wick 2 looks pretty similar to this look, but he does have the like a three-piece suit. This one is a little bit more different, but I guess the question is, which one should you go after? The artisan version or the regular version? For me, it's no question, it's going to be the regular version. Because of the nature of how the hair is styled, I don't think necessarily that you need to go for the artisan, because it's so flat. It's just flat on the hair. So the artisan would only make a difference on the back end, where you're going to have individual pieces, which is kind of flying away. So it will provide more realism. With that being said, Hot Toys, I think, did a fantastic job of having individualized hair on the back of his head that you can get away with just sculpted. One thing that I'm not a big fan of, that I don't think it translated well, at least here, with the artisan version, is the lineup. The lineup on the, I don't know if you want to call it lineup, the way it's rooted or glued on to the side, just you can see his sideburns and all that stuff, I'm not a big fan of. It doesn't bother me, but I think it's much cleaner on this sculpted version. And normally I would say, I'm not a big fan of artisan or rooted hair to begin with. I think it adds realism, but for the price, for the most part, I would say it's not. I don't know. I just refuse to pay 200 plus more on something rooted. Even with a bank robber Joker, as good as the rooted hair is for that, like I still think the sculpted version is not bad. That the difference is not that big for me to pay almost another figure for it. Especially with this one. I don't know. Just the nature of how the hair is styled, I don't think you're gonna get the bulk of realism compared to, let's say, the purple coat Joker, where it's it's laying down in his face, it's on the side of his head. Here it's flat. It's flat. I mean, does it add realism? Absolutely. But look at this. Like I don't know. I'm just not a fan of how it goes from his hairline to the sideburns. I feel like that's gonna get worse as well, once you receive it in hand. But I would say this: if you have the fonts and if you don't care, and this is the sculpted version, look at that. That is clean. I would say the transition, you can see it's gradient. Because Keanu is almost 60, if I'm not mistaken. So he does have thinning of the hair, some salt and pepper on the roots and all that stuff. I don't know if you capture that completely with the artisan version. But regardless, what I was trying to say is that if you have a lot of funds and you don't necessarily care, go for the Artisan if you can get one. If you can get one, even though I feel like the it's definitely more realistic, of course, because again, it doesn't have the shine of the plastic hair. It's still better, even though it's marginally. So if, like I said, if the money's not an issue for you and you can get one, why not? Right? For me, it's an issue. Like, funds is always an issue for me. So I would try to get, at least for my current situation, the best bang for my buck. I don't necessarily go, my model in buying a figure is how far can my money go, not the best version available. That's why I don't have that's why I don't have any Artisan, and that's why in my Paul Atreides I got the sculpted version, like the best bang for my buck. That's just how I approach this. Now, there are certain characters that I will make an exception, and John Wick would have been one of them. If I would have gotten the Artisan version, if this is not the slick back, if this is like the hair that's just flowing, kind of like the JND one. Now the question now is this better than the JND version? Without just comparing the prototype, I would say yes. Like from they're both slick back, I would say this has better likeness than the JND version. Now the JND obviously has the bells and whistles of seamless neck, and that the body looks great as well. But I'm sure you can do those poses here as well. But you have the magnetic eyeball rolling system in the neck part, but that would come out to, I think the single packet is around 700. So now it's up to you if that's another $200 more. This is, I guess, the thing with JND is that now you have options. It's not like Two-Face where now you're competing with the Artisan Hot Toys and the sculpted version Hot Toys. But let me know in the comments, do you think does JND stand a match with this one, price wise and quality wise? I would love to hear your thoughts, which version you would go for. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.